Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotarashata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotarashata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Ganga Maya Ki Yamuna Maya Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan Yoga Ki Chantanel Prasadam Distribution Ki Srimad Bhāgavatam Class Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hare Krishna, we're reading from the third canto of the Srimad Bhāgavatam. Chapter 26, entitled, I believe, something related to material nature. I can't remember what the actual title is. The Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. Thank you, Connor. And we're reading text 52. So we'll start reading from there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim sarasvatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki shinvata swakata krishna punya shravana kirtana virantasto hyabadrani virunoti suhitsatam. Etarandam visheshakyam krama vridhayadasho tarai toyadibi parivritam pradhane navritarbhahe yatra loka vitanoyam rupam bhagavato hare. Etarandam visheshakyam krama vridhaya dashotare toyadibi parivritam pradane navritarbhahe yatra loka vitanoyam rupam bhagavato hare. Etarandam visheshakyam krama vridhaya dashotare toyadibi parivritam pradhane navritarbhahe yatra loka vitanoyam rupam bhagavato hare. Vaishnavis. Krama vidhaya dashotare toyadibi parivritam pradhanena pratarbhahi yatra loka vitanoyam rupam bhagavato hare. Etat, this, andam, egg, visheshakyam, called vishesha, krama, one after another, ridhai, increased, dasha, 10 times, uttarai, greater, toya adibhi, by water and so on, parivritam, enveloped, pradhanena, by pradhan, avritai, covered. Bahi, on the outside. Yatra, where. Loka Vitanaha, the extension of the planetary systems. Ayam, this. Rupam, form. Bhāgavata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare, of Lord Hari. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This universal egg, or the universe in the shape of an egg, is called the manifestation of material energy. Its layers of water, air, fire, sky, ego, and Mahat Tattva increase in thickness one after another. Each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous one, and the final outside layer is covered by Pradhan. Within this egg is the universal form of Lord Hari, of whose body the 14 planetary systems are parts. This universe, or the universal purport by Srila Prabhupada, this universe, or the universal sky, which we can visualize with its innumerable planets, is shaped just like an egg. As an egg is covered by a shell, the universe is also covered by various layers. The first layer is water, the next is fire, then air, then sky, and the ultimate holding crust is Pradhan. Within this egg-like universe is the universal form of the Lord as the Virat Purusha. All the different planetary situations are parts of his body. This is already explained in the beginning of Srimad Bhāgavatam, 2nd canto. The planetary systems are considered to form different bodily parts of that universal form of the Lord. Persons who cannot directly engage in the worship of the transcendental form of the Lord are advised to think of and worship this universal form. The lowest planetary system, Patala, is considered to be the soul of the Supreme Lord, S-O-L-E, and the earth is considered to be the belly of the Lord. Brahmaloka, or the highest planetary system where Brahma lives, is considered to be the head of the Lord. This Virat Purusha is considered an incarnation of the Lord. The original form of the Lord is Krishna, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Adi Purusha. The Virat Purusha is also Purusha, but he is not Adi Purusha. The Adi Purusha is Krishna, Ishvaraha Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarvakarana Karanam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is also accepted as the Adi Purusha, the original. Krishna says, quote, "No one is greater than me." There are innumerable expansions of the Lord, and all of them are Purushas, or enjoyers. But neither the Virat Purusha, nor the Purusha avatars, Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Kshirodakshay Vishnu, nor any of the many other expansions is the original. In each universe, there are Garbhodakshay Vishnu, the Virat Purusha, and the Kshirodakshay Vishnu. The active manifestation of the Virat Purusha is described here. Persons who are in the lower grade of understanding regarding the Supreme Personality of Godhead may think of the universal form of the Lord, for that is advised in the Bhāgavatam. The dimensions of the universe are estimated here. The outer covering is made of layers of water, air, fire, sky, and Mahat Ego and Mahat Tattva, and each layer is 10 times greater than the one previous. The space within the hollow of the universe cannot be measured by any human scientist or anyone else. And beyond the hollow, there are 7 coverings, each one 10 times greater than the one preceding it. The layer of water is 10 times greater than the diameter of the universe. And the layer of fire is 10 times greater than that of water. Similarly, the layer of air is 10 times greater than that of fire. These dimensions are all inconceivable to the tiny brain of a human being. It is also stated that this description is of only one egg-like universe. There are innumerable universes besides this one, and some of them are many, many times greater. It is considered, in fact, that this universe is the smallest. Therefore, the predominating superintendent, or Brahma, has only 4 heads for management. In other universes, which are far greater than this one, Brahma has more heads. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that all these Brahmas were called one day by Lord Krishna on the inquiry of the small Brahma, who, after seeing all the larger Brahmas, was thunderstruck. That is the inconceivable potency of the Lord. No one can measure the length and breadth of God by speculation or by false identification with God. These attempts are symptoms of lunacy. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Agyanantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dirati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Etadandam Visheshakyam Kramavridhar Dashotarai Toyadibi Parivritam Pradane Na Vritar Bahi Yatra Loka Vitanoyam Rupam Bhagavato Hare. This universal egg, or the universe in the shape of an egg, is called the manifestation of material energy. Its layers of water, air, fire, sky, ego, and Mahat Tattva increase in thickness one after another. Each layer is 10 times bigger than the previous one, and the final outside layer is covered by Pradhan. Within this egg is the universal form of Lord Hari, of whose body the 14 planetary systems are parts. So, Hare Krishna. Firstly, we'd like to seek the blessings of all the devotees present, especially His Grace Krishna Kripa Prabhu, who is so kindly being here and bestowing us with His merciful association. I don't have much qualifications to actually speak on the Bhāgavatam, such an exalted literature in scripture. But by the devotees' mercy and the Guru's mercy, I've been given the opportunity to glorify Krishna. So I pray that I can say something that's of proper benefit for everyone, so that we can apply it in our daily lives. So here is quite a interesting part of the Bhāgavatam, actually. We're talking about the fact that we're, us as Kali Yuga creatures, are existing in this big egg, kind of like a coconut or something. And this coconut is actually, like, the water space in the coconut is actually much smaller compared to the shell. So I've been trying to conceive of that, and Prabhupada's so right in his purport. It's like so inconceivable that you have 7 layers outside of this universe that we're existing in that are covering the universe, and these things are much bigger and wider than the actual universe we're existing in. So I was thinking, trying to crack open a coconut like that, you know. There's 7 layers in this coconut, and each shell is 10 times bigger. So the first layer is 10 times wider than the inside of the shell, and then each of that is 10 times bigger. And I was trying to even think of that in my mind. I was gonna think about doing the math for it and think about an average size of a coconut and how big that would take. But anyways, I thought that would be kind of a waste of time. So just thinking about what we're actually existing in, it's quite quite fascinating. The Bhāgavatam has a good way of churning the mind, of course churning the heart as well, but it makes you think a lot. It's totally, a lot of the things the Bhāgavatam gives us is contradictory in many ways to our modern understanding of reality. And it's also partly because science bases reality on not necessarily the absolute reality, but it's based on a relative reality through observation. And actually science is quite good at what it does, but when it tries to make its own philosophies to break out of its own scope, that's when it has more problems. So anyways, I always think the Bhagavatam is so amazing in that way. It's giving us knowledge that we can't really make sense of on our own. So yeah, we're in this maximum security prison in some sense, and nobody can escape here without proper qualifications. I was listening to a class by His Holiness Gaura Govinda Swami, and he was talking about how amazing it is that the individual jiva can go up, all the way through all the shells of the universe and all the way to Goloka Vrindavan. And it's quite amazing, actually. It's a very powerful thing. And so the beauty of what Srila Prabhupada has given us is that he's given us this opportunity and the process by which we can break through these different coverings of the universe and attain to that state of Goloka Vrindavan consciousness. So sometimes it's kind of dry to hear these things a lot. We've been talking for a while about Sankhya philosophy, especially this 26th chapter. It's all about like material energy and material nature. And sometimes we might not necessarily understand the connection of these things. But even Srila Prabhupada in his purport, he's connecting it with Krishna. Of course, the verse is talking about the universal form of Lord Hari. And then Prabhupada saying, actually, yeah, Krishna comes as the Virat Purusha, but actually the Virat Purusha isn't the Adi Purusha. So Prabhupada's always able, and all these great souls are always able to think of Krishna and whatever's happening. So this is actually a way, when we're studying these aspects of material nature, it's a way for us to actually apply this knowledge to think of Krishna when we're seeing these things on a daily basis. We're learning about these things. So I wanted to read this first paragraph from Prabhupada's purport in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 19. And I thought it was really nice, and it relates to this a little bit. So the text for chapter 19 is talking about pretty much one who's, taken many births eventually comes to understand me. It's the basis of the verse. Bahunam janma namante gyanavan mam prapadyante vasudeva savarmiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. So one who comes to know me actually sa mahatma is a great soul, and that soul is sudurlabha, is a very, very rare. So Prabhupada comments on this a little bit, on how that soul is able to also see Krishna everywhere. The living entity, while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals, after many births, may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. In the beginning of spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism, there is some leaning towards impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in the spiritual life, and that these activities constitute devotional service. Realizing this, he becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrenders to Him. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, and that He is the cause of all causes, and that this material manifestation is not independent from Him. Yeah, that's a really important point. This philosophy makes it very clear that everything's a part of Krishna. Sometimes other practices, just incomplete understandings of the truth, will say that the material world is separate. It's separate from spiritual. And in one sense, the whole point of Sankhya philosophy is to actually separate the difference between material and spiritual existence. But of course, the beauty of Achintya Bheda Bheda philosophy is that Yes, it's different in one sense, but it's also the same. And that sameness is the fact that it's not independent from Krishna. Everything's coming from Krishna. So Prabhupada says, he realizes the material world to be a perverted reflection of spiritual variegatedness, and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Thus he thinks of everything in relation to Vasudeva or Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudeva precipitates one's full surrender to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna as the highest goal. Such surrendered souls are very rare. So nice, such a nice purport. So yeah, seeing this vastness of the universe, it makes us humble. Brajmohan made that quote, Prabhu made that quote yesterday from Srila Prabhupada to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. You know, there's so many universes that are coming from Vishnu, and in those universes there's one universe, and we're living in that universe. And in that universe there's earth, there's an earthly dimension, and in that earthly dimension there's many continents and rivers and oceans. And on those continents there's America, and then in America there's New York or Los Angeles. And within that city, there's a Hare Krishna temple. Within that Hare Krishna temple, there are many devotees. And within one of those rooms, there's Tamal Krishna Goswami, or Tamal Krishna, who thinks he's very special. So, of course, that that aspect makes us feel very minuscule and humble. But simultaneously, we all actually have an individual personal relationship with Krishna. And so it's amazing how that humility can also be dovetailed into seeing how much Krishna actually loves us personally. Each and every one of us personally. I think that's just such an amazing quality of God, that Krishna is actually, he has relationships with everyone, and each relationship is, it's flavorful in its own way. So I thought I'd speak about this for the rest of the class. So Krishna is Adi Purusha, and of course we have that from the Brahma Samhita, we have that from the Bhagavad Gita. We have much praman for not only Krishna saying this, but also Krishna's devotees saying these things. So what are these actual qualities that make Krishna Adi Purusha? So in the 23rd chapter of the Madhya Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's qualities are actually described. And I think it's like the first 50 qualities are related to like us as jivas, like have those in minute quality. And then it was something like 5 more of those qualities that Krishna has in full. The demigods share some of those qualities. And then 5 more qualities, only like expansions of Narayan, Krishna's form of this Narayan, and Vaikuntha share those. And then there's also 4 qualities that only Krishna has. So these things actually separate, and why it makes Krishna, why he's the Adi Purusha. So I believe it's, let me get it here, 57 to 100, or maybe it's 70 to 98. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay, so I'm just going to read a little bit from this, starting at text 69. The transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna are unlimited. Out of these, 64 are considered prominent. The ears of the devotees are satisfied simply by hearing all of these qualities one after the other. Krishna, the supreme hero, has the most beautiful transcendental body. This body possesses all good features. It is radiant and very pleasing to the eyes. His body is powerful, strong, and youthful. Krishna is the linguist of all wonderful languages. I just think that's cool. I think it was, I heard this thing by Mahotsa, that someone was claiming that they were God, and Mahotsa started speaking to him in Telugu, and the guy didn't understand. So he said, well, you can't be God. He didn't hear what I said. So Krishna is the linguist of all wonderful languages. He is a truthful and very pleasing speaker. He is expert in speaking, and he is a very wise, learned scholar and a genius. Krishna is very expert in artistic enjoyment. He's highly cunning, expert, grateful, and firmly determined in his vows. He knows how to deal according to time, person, and country. And he sees through the scriptures and authoritative books. He is very clean and self-controlled. Lord Krishna is steady. His senses are controlled, and he is forgiving, grave, and calm. He is also equal to all. Moreover, he is magnanimous, religious, chivalrous, and kind. He is always respectful to respectable people. Krishna is very simple and liberal. He is humble and bashful. He is the protector of the surrendered souls. He is very happy, and he is always the well-wisher of his devotees. He is all auspicious, and he is submissive to love. Krishna is very influential and famous. He is the object of attachment for everyone. He is the shelter of the good and virtuous. He is attractive to the minds of women, and he is worshipped by everyone. He is very, very rich. Now, of course, one thing to remember is that these qualities were conditioned to see as material qualities. So all of these qualities that are attributed to Krishna are actually the original nature of those qualities. So it's not that these are mundane comparisons or mundane things. Krishna has all of these qualities in full. And so we're looking for these things in the material world, but that's not actually where the qualities are properly existing. They're fully existing in Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme. He is always glorified as the Supreme Lord and Controller. Thus, all the previously mentioned transcendental qualities are in him. The 50 qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead mentioned above are as deep as an ocean. In other words, they are difficult to fully comprehend. These qualities are sometimes very minutely exhibited in living beings, but they are fully manifested in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Apart from these 50 qualities, there are 5 other qualities found in the Supreme Personality of Godhead that are partially present in demigods like Shiva. These qualities are: 1. The Lord is always situated in his original position. 2. He is omniscient. 3. He is always fresh and youthful. 4. He is concentrated form of eternity. He is the concentrated form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. And 5. He is the possessor of all mystic perfection. There are 5 other qualities which exist in the Vaikuntha planets in Narayan, the Lord of Lakshmi. These qualities are also present in Krishna, but they are not present in demigods like Lord Shiva or in other living entities. These are: 1. The Lord possesses inconceivable supreme power. He generates innumerable universes from his body. 2. 3. He is the original source of all incarnations. 4. He bestows salvation upon enemies he kills. And 5. He has the ability to attract exalted persons who are satisfied in themselves. That's a really nice one. Although these qualities are present in Narayan, the dominating deity of the Vaikuntha planets, they are even more wonderfully present in Krishna. Apart from these 60 transcendental qualities, Krishna has an additional 4 transcendental qualities, which are not manifested even in the personality of Narayan. These are: Krishna is like an ocean filled with waves of pastimes that evoke wonder with everyone in the 3 worlds. I was just reading the Srimad Bhāgavatam in the 10th canto, and I was reading the pastime with Mother Yashoda, and Krishna was eating dirt with the cowherd boys, and the cowherd boys went to tattle on Krishna. And Mother Yashoda wanted to see the dirt in Krishna's mouth, and she looked in Krishna's mouth and she sees the entire universal form within his mouth. Krishna displays like all of these just evoking wonder, So many of these pastimes we hear about Krishna and we read about Krishna, it's just like, just awestruck. Like Krishna is in the forest with the cowboys, and there's a flaming forest fire, and Krishna just sucks up the forest fire. Like it's it's just amazing. It's really of course, these really special pastimes, and especially when you get deeper into the personal relationships that the residents of Vrindavan have with Krishna. The way that Krishna evokes these pastimes here on the earth, it's very attractive. Second, in his activities of conjugal love, he is always surrounded by his dear devotees who possess unequaled love for him. So, Chintamani prakarasad masukalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu surabir abhipalayantam lakshmi sahasra satasam brahmasevyamana govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. So in Vrindavan, there's hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis and Gopis that are serving Krishna. So this form of conjugal love that's expressed in a sense with Lakshmi Devi is kind of mixed with a sense of dasya as well. And this is actually fully manifested by Krishna in Vrindavan. So this is also proving and showing why Krishna has very unique qualities that he does to, for us to relate with him. 3, he attracts the minds of all the 3 worlds with the melodious vibration of his flute. I can't speak on realization of that, but Shastra says the same thing. 4, his personal beauty and opulence are beyond compare. No one is equal to him, and no one is greater than him. Thus, the personality of Godhead astonishes all living entities, both moving and non-moving within the 3 worlds. He is so beautiful that he is called Krishna. So he is all attractive. It's attractive to any type of form of living entity, any type of relationship is expressed in this form of Krishna. And especially, Krishna and Vrindavan, you get the deepest forms of that relationships. And so we hear in the conversations with Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya in chapter 8 of the Madhya Lila, Lord Chaitanya is asking Ramananda Roy to recite different verses from scriptures concerning the ultimate goal of life. So Lord Chaitanya is inquiring from his intimate associate Ramananda Roy, what is the ultimate goal of life? And so it's so amazing. Ramananda Roy starts with talking about how the Lord is worshipped through Varna and Ashram, and that there's no other way to satisfy the Lord but through Varna and Ashram. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, this is external. You have to tell me something better than this. So then Ramananda Roy says, okay, well, he quotes the verse in the Gita, Yad Karoshi, Yad Ashnashi, Yad Juhoshi, Dadasiyat. So whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give in charity, whatever austerities you perform, the results of your activity should be offered to me. And it's kind of like karma, talking about karma yoga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says then, that's also external. Please proceed and speak further on this matter. To give up one's, and then Ramananda Roy is replying and saying, actually to give up one's occupation of ideas of Varna and Ashram, that's actually the essence of perfection. So if one actually is analyzing them, he can understand the qualities and faults of occupational duties and give them up completely to render service under the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a person is considered a first-class man. Now, of course, we have examples like Prahlad Maharaj, who very nicely demonstrated that in the Bhāgavatam. But actually the residents of Vrindavan, there's no one that displays these things better than the residents of Vrindavan. And so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is churning these things from Ramananda Roy. And so he's saying, no, go further. So Ramananda Roy goes further. And he says, according to the Bhagavad Gita, one who is transcendently situated at once realizes Supreme Brahman and becomes joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service to me. And so Lord Chaitanya again said, no, this isn't the full conclusion of perfection. Please go deeper. I think this is so nice because actually it's a nice example in our practice as well. Like whatever books we're reading, whether it's the Bhagavad Gita or even just like the Perfection of Yoga or the Science of Self-Realization, like all of these books we can actually dive extremely deep into. And so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually himself is showing that whatever we're doing, like whatever scriptures we're reading from Srila Prabhupada or from our acharyas, there's always ways for us to dive deeper into these things. We were discussing a couple days ago just like in amazement about how Srila Prabhupada has given us these books. And it's like having someone who's teaching simultaneously first grade physics, quantum physics, and all the physics levels in between. And he's giving those things all at once in like one teaching. And that's like an inconceivable thing to think about. But Prabhupada's giving us these things and everything's embedded in there. And so based on our levels of realization, then we can actually attain to those, we can dive deeper and deeper into those deeper meanings of what Prabhupada is giving us. And so, yeah, very, very often we're encouraged to dive deeper and deeper. Don't just remain on the surface level. I'm saying that for myself as well. I find that like when I'm reading sometimes it's like I'm just reading to read, you know, instead of actually, I heard once that was nice, it's like read with a sense of urgency. And when you read Prabhupada's purports with a sense of urgency, then they'll actually reveal much deeper things to you. So I pray I can do that. So then Ramananda Roy is replying again, saying that pure devotional service without any sense of speculative knowledge, that's the essence of perfection. And so then he's quoting Lord Brahma's prayers and saying that those who've thrown away empirical philosophical speculations are, you know, they're your proper devotees. And then Mahaprabhu says, yes, okay, this is nice, but you can still go deeper. And then Ramananda Roy is saying that when the Lord is worshipped with pure love, the various activities performed in the course of that worship awaken transcendental bliss in the heart. So, okay, now people, not only is it devoid of speculation, but you're evoking bliss in the heart when you're serving the Lord. Excuse me. Please tolerate me, my voice has been quite poor all morning. But yeah, he's talking about pure devotional service and Krishna consciousness. It can't be had by any hundreds of pious activities in thousands of lifetimes. It can be attained by paying only one price, and that is, anyone know? Greed, lolium, greed, the desire to obtain it. So, of course, further and further, this is getting into different relationships with Krishna and the different rasas that we understand. Of course, the 5 main rasas. Does anyone know the 5 main rasas? Ryan? Sakya. Yeah. So there's 5 main relationships with Krishna, and 3 of them are most prominent in Vrindavan. Of course, all of them are there with Krishna, but so Ramananda Roy dives deeper, and then he talks about serving Krishna in the Sakya mood. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yes, this is very nice, but you can still go further. And then Ramananda Roy continues and talks about the glories of Nanda Maharaj, talks about the glories of Mother Yashoda. And what pious activities did Mother Yashoda perform that made the absolute personality of Godhead call her mother and suck her breasts? That's like, wow, amazing thing to think about. And so then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yes, this is getting better and better. But there's still something that you're missing. There's something that goes deeper. And so then he talks about Madhurya Ras, the Madhurya relationships that are with Krishna and conjugal love. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, yes, this is absolutely it, but you can still go deeper. So Ramananda Roy is thinking, what do you mean, how can I go deeper? And so, yeah, of course it leads up to the point of the fact that Srimati Radharani's love for Krishna is the highest of all. And so Of course, Krishna is telling the gopis that I can't repay you. The gopis have surrendered everything unto Krishna. And then especially when they realize that Srimati Radharani's love is actually, it's quite different than ours. So why don't we just serve her? Because she's clearly more dear to Krishna in some ways. So why don't, if we serve her, then it's actually simultaneously more pleasing to Krishna as well. And so, it's so funny, Ramananda Roy is like so surprised that Lord Chaitanya is telling him to go deeper and deeper, and as I said, it leads to her bathing place, Radhakund, is also very dear to him. And so, just to tie this back in, that this desire to attain and understand our relationship with Krishna is a very important thing, because we're coming here in this Krishna consciousness movement to understand who we are. Who am I? What is my purpose here? And yes, we're not the body, and we're not the mind, and we're the spirit soul, and this is true. But actually, this is a personal philosophy. Just understanding that I'm a spark as an individual soul, that's not going to take me to the spiritual world. It's actually a deep desire to enter into these pastimes with Krishna and Vrindavan that Prabhupada's giving us. And so we're so fortunate to be a part of this movement where we're directly connected and aligned with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. They're giving us this opportunity magnanimously. And so, of course, rascals and lechas like myself, I don't deserve these things. But just because I don't deserve these things, that doesn't mean that we don't cultivate a desire to want them. So it's like a simultaneous balance between understanding how unqualified I am for these things, but also a simultaneous desire to actually want to enter into this relationship with Krishna. And so, nowhere else will you find any other expansion of the Lord. You'll not find more intimate relationships and experiences and spiritual ecstasies and pastimes than you will with Krishna. And so, by Prabhupada's mercy, he spread this all over the world. It's really incredible. I mean, we go out every day and we're chanting Hare Krishna to everyone in the subways. And this mantra, it's like revealing the most intimate aspects of our relationship with the Lord, and it's giving everyone else that opportunity. So I'm just expressing my gratitude to be a part of this movement and to be associating with such amazing devotees here. We all have such unique and individual stories as to how we came to Krishna consciousness, and all of them are glorious. And that was the moral of this class, is that, okay, Krishna enters into the universe as the universal form, but he does that to attract us to his original form. So maybe we're not as qualified to immediately run to practice in a way that we have full attraction for Krishna's original form, but we can always have that deep desire within us to want to get there. So that's about all I have to say. Thank you very much for tolerating my class and allowing me to try and speak something to glorify the Lord, to glorify the Bhāgavatam. Maybe if there's any comments or corrections, you can open up the floor. Yeah, Mother Johnny. Do we have a microphone for China? Right here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for such a nice class. And I wanted to appreciate that at the very beginning you brought up, or you kind of like pulled the attention to that within the egg is the universal form of Lord Hari. And you said that the devotee can see that form of Krishna everywhere, in everything. And I was just thinking, I just Gaur Nitai this morning, and I was doing Achaman, and the verse that we read after we purify ourselves is Om Tat
Vishnu Paramam Padam. Yeah.
And the translation of that is so wonderful. It's
Yeah.
just as those with ordinary vision see the sun's rays in the sky, so the wise and learned devotees always see the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu. Because those highly praiseworthy and spiritually awake brahmanas can see that abode, they can also reveal it to others. And so I was just thinking, and I'm glad that too, you said that in the beginning, and so it like just sparked that verse. But then like also in the end when you're talking about Prabhupada, like how amazing is it he brought basically the entire spiritual world to us, and we can only see it because he could see it. And so in order, if we want to see Krishna, and maybe we don't have that ability yet, then we just have to find someone who can see him. That's it. And then we can see him just as much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. It's like that prayer in Ohe Vaishnav Thakur, where it's like, I'm running behind you chanting Krishna, Krishna, you know, so you can get, because you can give me Krishna, so I'm running behind you and chanting Krishna, Krishna. So yeah, the saints, the Srila Prabhupada, our acharyas, our spiritual masters, they're linking us and connecting us with the Lord because they have an intimate relationship with the Lord. And we also have an intimate relationship with the Lord, but it requires an introduction. And so Srila Prabhupada is so amazing, as I said, just like so capable of giving like literature for everyone. I mean, the beginner and the most advanced person can read Prabhupada's books and still be totally blown away. So I just find that so amazing. It's really, it's so special. We're very fortunate. That's a nice comment. Yeah. Anything else? Krishna Kripa Prabhu, any comments, corrections?
Thank you for sharing the qualities of Krishna with us, because it inspires us to increases our love of having an intimate relationship with Him. It's always good to review the 64 transcendental qualities of Krishna. So thank you for performing that service for us.
Hare Krishna.
And I read the Krishna book for Kartik. I managed to finish it on the 8 o'clock on the last day.
Wow.
But if you do take the trouble to just read it straight through, like every day for hours, then after the month you have these pastimes and qualities in your mind. So I highly recommend that. I first heard of the idea from the Kadammakana Swami, and I actually tried it last year, and it was so good I kept it up 2 years in a row. So.
Yeah.
So,
thank you for that inspiration. I tried to finish just through audiobook. I didn't even finish it. So thank you.
The audiobook of the Krishna?
Yeah.
I heard the first 80 chapters on the audiobook, or 85, and I read the last ones.
Nice.
Yeah. But whatever works.
Hare Krishna. Hare Pran, Prabhu? We'll make this the last comment so I don't make anyone wait for breakfast.
You were mentioning, thank you for the class, you were mentioning about Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya, and I was just thinking about this verse that he quotes, and he says to go deeper. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakangshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Lavate Param. These definitions that Ramananda Roy are presenting, they're not wrong.
Yeah.
They're all correct, but there's, in spiritual life, it seems like there's things that are more correct.
Right.
So, and this Mad Bhaktim Labate Param, it's significant because it's Mad Bhaktim, my devotional service, gains transcendental. These are the word-to-words. And it's all, actually, that verse is all centered around the practitioner. It's Mad Bhaktim, he's situated in transcendence, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. He's not hankering, he doesn't lament. Sama Sarvesh, he's equal-minded to all. So this is very based off this definition of a practitioner who is practicing bhakti. This definition is only upon on the practitioner. But actually the higher understandings of Krishna consciousness, it's not even dependent on the practitioner. It's all focused on Krishna. It's all dependent on Krishna. Up to the point of, we were just discussing yesterday after the Tuesday program, the last verse of Sikshashtakam. And it's up to that point that whatever Krishna does to me, whether Krishna may put me in more lamentation and anchoring than before Krishna consciousness. I may be more sad than before. Still, he mat prananatha susa eva napara, that I know no other Lord except him. So,
yeah, Jai, thank you for that. Yeah, that's an important thing. Because the deeper we dive into it, this is why the example of the gopis, that Krishna says, I can't repay you, because they don't care what Krishna does. It doesn't matter. They're so obsessed with Krishna and serving Krishna that it doesn't matter what he does. This mat prananatas tu sayevanapara. He's my worshipful Lord, my object of worship and love and affection. Thank you for that, Hadai Pran Prabhu. Okay. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, all glories to Srimad Bhāgavatam. Hare Krishna.
His grace, Narada Muni Prabhu ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.